Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today I would like to talk about a few things potentially involving some new free agent signings and trade deals that we can go after, as well as a new minor league contract free agent that we have recently just signed. So we'll dive straight into that. So Jake Woodford signs a minor league deal with the Rays on the 21st of November. Now, he's been in the big leagues since 2020. And statistically wise, he's really only kind of had two good seasons at a big league level. In 2022, he had a 2.23 ERA in 27 games with 48 innings pitched and 43 hits. That goes along with only 24 strikeouts and 11 walks, and that's kind of concerning. 24 strikeouts in 48 innings is not ideal. That's a 4.5 K per nine, which is for a reliever is really, really bad. Like that's I don't understand how you can kind of pitch at a big league level at a 4.5 K per nine. But he kept the walks down to just 11 over 48 innings, and he had a 2.23 ERA. So he only gave up 43 hits that season. But just kind of stands out to me when he's been pitching at his best, the strikeout numbers have kind of been down all across the board on his good seasons. The let alone kind of side season that he was pretty had a lot more strikeout percentage, I would say. It was in 2021. He did have a 3.99 ERA and in 67.2 innings, gave up 66 hits, but he had 50 strikeouts and 25 walks. So the K to walk ratio is 2-1, which is kind of what you want to see. But still, the 50 strikeouts over 67 and two-thirds innings is way lower than you kind of want to see from a relief pitcher. And this past season in Arizona, he had a 6.4 ERA in 36 innings where he gave up, only had 23 strikeouts. He had 13 walks and 26 earned runs. And so he's kind of statistically declined every single season he's been at a big league level. And it's interesting to see kind of where the Rays' perspective is on this. And I'm curious to see if they kind of think they can just kind of get him in the system. He's on a minor league deal, so he does have a big league spring training invite, but it's kind of one of those things where it's not really going to hurt you at all. He's on a minor league deal, so he's not taking up a 40-man spot, and you kind of just see what he can do and maybe bring him into this race system, kind of get his strikeout rates up and kind of play with his stuff and play with all of his velocity and induced vertical break and horizontal break and spin rate and all things like that to maybe try to increase those strikeout numbers a little bit. So we'll see where they go from there. But one thing that I have seen gaining some pretty good traction over the past couple of days is Kota Singa being a potential trade target for the Rays. And now heading into the offseason, Senga wasn't one of those guys where it kind of stood out to me to where I'd be really intrigued on kind of picking him up. But then again, I kind of dove into his contract details and things of that nature. He's got 2 years left on his contract with New York, and he's only owed $30 million over those 2 seasons, so $15 million a year. And that's potentially territory to where if the Mets are willing to eat a little bit of his contract, I think that's be a move the Rays would not be opposed to doing, because he statistically wise, he's been really good as a starter. His rookie season in 2023, he was an all-star. He had a 2.98 ERA, 166 innings, 126 hits, 202 strikeouts, and only 77 walks. And so that's a little interesting to me of kind of a back end piece. He wouldn't even be a back end piece necessarily. He would be more of it'd be McClanahan, Rasmussen, Senga is kind of the 1, 2, 3, and then you throw in Pepio and maybe Adrian Hauser in there as well. If we go out and get him, that would be one of the best, like, top to bottom rotations in baseball, in my opinion. And even this past season in 25, he had a 3.02 ERA in 22 games started, 113 innings, 94 hits, 109 strikeouts. So the strikeout numbers were definitely down a significant amount, but he was coming off injury in 2024. And so it's interesting. He still has a 2 to 1 K to walk ratio. So there's never kind of been an issue with him walking too many batters. And 55 walks in 113 innings is not bad by any standard. So I would be interested to see. I know the Mets have been really intrigued on gaining outfield prospects and gaining outfield position wise. Kind of been necessarily kind of been leaning towards picking up outfielders. So I think that we have the outfield prospects in the deep outfield room on a 40-man major league level to where we could kind of extend an offer out to New York and see if they would be willing to bite on that. And I think it all kind of just boils down to, are the Mets willing to eat some of the contract? And knowing where they're at on their payroll now, I don't think a couple million extra to get them away is really going to necessarily be a problem for them. And I wouldn't be opposed to the pickup whatsoever. I think it would bolster our starting rotation significantly, and I'm curious to see kind of how him being in the Rays organization would increase his stuff in velocity and break and spin rate and all things of that nature, like they do with every other pitcher they somehow get. They make them the best version of themselves possible 95% of the time. So I'd be curious to see kind of if that could be a possible pickup for us. But then kind of another pickup that the Rangers just DFA'd or decided not to re-sign Jonah Heim this past week as well. So could he be the answer to our question behind the plate that we've so been longing for since the departure of Zunino? And this past 2 seasons have been kind of really not good for Heim. He's at about a 660 OPS over the last 2 years, which is not good at all. But in 2023, in his All-Star year, he had a 3.1 batting WAR with a 755 OPS, and he hit career highs in doubles, home runs, and RBIs. Had 18 homers, 95 RBIs, and 28 doubles. And he also won the Gold Glove Award that year. So does him being an all-star and him winning the Gold Glove have to do with the Rangers winning the World Series that season? Maybe. It's a lot of that stuff is all political when it comes to things of that nature. But statistically wise, he was really good. And him being let go after just 2 kind of down years where they kind of seen his bat and his glove decline is interesting to me. I'm intrigued to where they would be willing to go from the Rangers perspective. And I think you could get him on a very good club friendly contract, especially just after getting cut by a team. He's looking for places to go, and the Rays are, in my opinion, there's the biggest question mark in the league catching wise, would be a great fit for him. And I think that we've kind of gained a little bit of traction on the free agent front with him, and I would really like to see a signing for him. But it all just comes down to money, and it all comes down to where Neander and staff are kind of where they're comfortable with our catching position currently, and if they're kind of trying to expand our catching position, which I think if you can get a guy like Heim on a pretty club-friendly contract, it's a no-brainer. And guys like him only come around free agent-wise every once in a while. So I think you just kind of got to take a stab at it and see if you can get him. But that's what I think about Jonah Heim. You guys let me know what you think about Senga and Heim. And I'd be really curious to kind of see what you guys' take and point of view is on where they are as baseball players and kind of how you stand with them becoming a Tampa Bay Ray. Please let me know, and you guys have a great one.